Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel for yet again another Watch Along Wednesday. Today it's a pretty exciting one actually, because this project has a lot of weight to it. It's a bit of a weird one, but there's a lot to talk about with it. It is the second and final project of the now closed division Jigsaw Pictures, which was originally meant to be sort of an offshoot. It was the first division of the network to open actually, and it's sort of an offshoot film studio that was meant to be dedicated around this one franchise that I've been trying to get off the ground for years, called the Benji Saga. The franchise as a whole concept has been scrapped, along with the rest of the division, but the story itself is very much looking to be made into a film at some point. That's still very much happening in my eyes. With this in particular, this is the first of these documentaries which I've already watched on a Watch Along Wednesday. If you want to check that out, it was kind of how I initially tried to get that first film made, and it didn't work out. This is kind of exploring the origin, waiting in the meantime for this project to come out. This documentary is nearly about 3 years old now, but this kind of covered sort of the meaning behind the documentary, the original one, and also the franchise as a whole. It's the last project of this division. It's a pretty important one in terms of the narrative chronology of the network, simply because of it's such an important story to tell at some point. Though again, I think this is quite mysterious about what that story even is. I don't remember amazing things about this documentary still to this day. I think it had a pretty decent trailer, but this is but we'll just have to see. It's 36 minutes long, pretty meaty, and it was also the second last project of 2022, which we'll be covering next week, and I'll talk about that hopefully at the end if I can remember. But yep, without further ado, let's get right into it with Jigsaw Pictures presents the Benji Saga. The Benji Saga, the origin that always was. In 3, 2, 1. We lose our way. The moment we forget we're part of something bigger. It's not about ourselves. So this is filtered with a bit of a warm filter on it. This is edited footage from the last few days, which we'll probably be covering later. But like I said, again, there's some stuff from Secondary School that's included at the start of this, and the Jigsaw Pictures logo is coming up now with that same footage. I was a lot younger in that shot. That was also another extracted shot from like an original attempt to make the film, because I actually tried to make it in Secondary School as well as a childhood movie. So there's some footage of that in this doc, and that was a shot from it. But I couldn't show the rest of the clip because there was people in who I didn't want to be shown in the doc. But like that was one shot of that scene that we did that I kept in, where I'm kind of staring right down the lens. Last project of Jigsaw Pictures. I'm happy to see it go, man. It's just a prime example of a cluster that was this network and all the different things that it did. I want to see it gone. This is probably the last time I cover Jigsaw Pictures, actually. Forgot about this.
It's a story the Maester would tell you. I was there, ex nihilo, at the beginning of all things. I was there when everyone had superpowers. I had, like, fire powers. Someone else had, like, techie powers. Oh yeah, Connell could fire bones at people. He was like a bone machine gun man. It was beautiful. I also helped him write a few stories. Not many, but mainly Benji Cooper. We spent a lot of days talking about fucking Benji Cooper.
Yep, we did.
Very enjoyable.
We did. It's a good intro song, like.
So basically, I was like, this is a story guy. I'd help him come up with ideas. Not great ideas, but we did what we could.
So here's more footage from back in the day at college, when we were doing more practicing and stuff. But this is for a different project, actually.
Jesus, we got up to some crazy shit. He just kind of used to chill in the corner of the yard. I'd come up to him and we'd discuss movies and shit. I also remember once that for Christmas he decided it'd be a great idea to write everyone a poem, a lovely poem for some people. and then give them a jigsaw piece in the hopes of uniting the entire school. It was a really sweet idea. Yeah, it didn't go to plan. Some of these jigsaw pieces, instead of getting like rearranged in the full picture, you know, like to unite the school, some of them got like eaten, some of them like in toilets. I saw one like hanging from a window. It was just like an absolute pandemonium. He tried though, he made an effort to unite the school, and I will respect him for that.
So this was a very hard decision. Now, the second villain in the film is...
Yeah. So this was originally meant to be a film. It's now more of a theatrical concept for theatre, but this was originally meant to be the first feature of the network, and it was supposed to come out in December 2022. So that was the original. That was meant to be the original film, and this was a meeting about that back in the day.
So basically, she's the second villain under Trevor. So basically, I was thinking about who would do that best, and I've been...
The thing is, though, again, we're just finding an excuse to use this old footage because this has nothing to do with the franchise. It's just me in the midst of it with the crew. Like, there's no reason for this to be here, to be honest.
But listen, right, again, the same as him, don't take any of it personally. I'm just saying, I'm watching the videos and stuff like that, and I'm seeing that in people.
Okay, hi.
Keep rolling. Right, so the last
Oh my god. Yeah. That was the original. It was meant to be the original film of the franchise. That's insane. It was the movie that never happened.
Hi. Yeah.
I always remember that he was... Well, he get on with his work and stuff, but he was very dedicated to making the movies, obviously as well as his work. All I remember is that it was based off like a book, but it all went to hell. He did come take part, asked me about taking part in the film, and I can't remember the exact role I was. Oh yeah, I might have been called Luke or something.
Yep.
But I was meant to play like the sort of the more popular, but also the part best friend of Benji. I remember filming a small scene, which involved these two like having a bit of a kickabout, and nothing really much else happened, because it didn't really get turned into a film in the end.
Decent little saying that. Oh,
Let's do 100 in this prison cell. Come with me and I'll show you the crew. We'll have the amazing actors, crew, and we've got a rehearsal going on at the moment. We've finalised cast and crew. So yeah. I don't know what date is on.
Big dance also on crew. The morning breeze blows and the blaze of the sun is withheld by the clouds.
We're also performing an activity. Not actually, but
oh yeah! Yeah, we're trying to get the drama teacher to do a nativity. That was pretty funny.
I'll meet you at the cannon. Just make your way along. And don't be afraid of people either. You can make new friends besides me, you know. Don't forget that. He looks concerned and goes to reply, but the phone dies. He pockets it in frustration in his eyes. The noises of the waves build somehow in his ears and the pressure becomes too much. He puts on a pair of headphones and drowns out the noise with music. He glances at the rock formation and decides to approach it. He climbs inside the cover and advances, crawling deeper inside it. Eventually becomes incredibly claustrophobic and realises no.
Yeah, good. Thank God for the dissolves. Yeah, because I'm not sitting for all that.
Benji exhales in annoyance. Benji's feet lands down by Luke's.
What's your name, pal?
Benji. Benji Cooper. Yours?
I'm Luke, mate. Where are you from? I don't remember seeing you around here before.
Oh, that's good. That's good structure, to be fair. Having like the old person who's supposed to play Luke followed immediately by a sequence that shows the guy who was actually really going to be Luke.
Are you mad?
You know the film's been in like development for a long, long time when like literally one of the core characters gets recast twice. Like that.
If you must know, I'm heading that way anyway to meet my parents.
Right.
Who are you, mate?
A friend of mine. I'm looking for a cannon. I can't remember where it is and my phone's died.
Look here. I'll give you some change.
Ah,
Thanks. Benji pockets the phone and power bank later.
the thing is though, the character's meant to be very innocent. Like, I know the story isn't really like prevalent. A lot of people don't know it, but it's like,
Listen,
the character's meant to be a lot more innocent. And I should be playing it a lot more innocently.
Begrudgingly agrees and he follows him out of the caves and back onto the rocks of the beach. He steps around the seaweed, trying to avoid coming into contact with us.
what's wrong with you? It's only seaweed.
I don't like it. Jesus. Benji loses footing and falls face first into it. He jumps up in a frightened panic and legs it from the beach. Luke is bewildered by the sight and decides to leave as well, carrying on with his day. Benji's music booms in his ears. His footsteps stomp violently against the path as he runs towards a nearby lighthouse. He's becoming all the more frightened of his surroundings by the minute. Cut to lighthouse day. Benji's been served coffee by a barista off screen. His headphones are off. The queue stand behind him, slowly getting annoyed. What you want, young man? Benji can't decide after a long while and starts to panic. The girl in the queue is a little sympathetic to him. I'm going to need you to make up your mind soon, champ. A builder in the queue begins to get visibly frustrated. Here, son, we don't have a bloody day, you know. I've got to meet you together on site. Benji snaps and walks away. He doesn't like the sea. Both exchange humorous.
That's not half bad, I'll be honest, for 2021 me.
In the end, Benji can't do it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Benji arrives and notices Luke and Layla in his presence. What are you two doing here?
You have to go up by the lighthouse.
He hands him to him. Thanks.
This short was meant to be sort of a story where all four of the quartet of core characters I've got sort of meet each other for the first time. It's very sort of it's very kind of circumstantial. Like, it's not the best written. Like, do you know the thing is though? I don't know if I said this in the previous video when I was reacting to this. I feel very blessed the fact how it all fell through in a way that it did, because not only was the talent and effort not there at the time from people around me, but myself as well. Like, I wasn't structured enough in life to be able to pull something like that off. And then, most of all, my ability just wasn't there.
Like, what kind of person were you in school? Like, what were you known as?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Right, lads, it's your boy, Simon. That doesn't sound right. I mean, it's a difficult one because it could be a situation where I have one perception of how I was seen in secondary school and everyone else may not agree with me. To me, at the time anyway, it seemed as if I was this sort of happy postman. Everyone knew. You know that one guy in the village that everyone knows?
Yeah.
And everyone says hi to. And I was kind of, in a way, not to the level like the heart and soul, because that just goes into egotistical territory.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, the centre of the year group, the one who didn't have much disagreement with going into other different friendship groups. I didn't really have a friendship group. I had...
You kind of mixed between groups.
It wasn't even that. I went almost like on a round trip throughout lunchtime, and I just ended up walking around many different groups and saying hi to them. And I think it wasn't some sort of effort to try and fit in, even though I felt very lonely at school. It was mainly so I could learn about different types of people.
Right.
And so I wasn't just...
3 years on, everything I'm saying is still valid, to be honest.
This bubble of, alright, okay, these are my people, fuck everyone else. You know what I mean? Mm. Like that kind of attitude. I wanted to get to know the people, and maybe that kind of attitude and wanting to be the best and be the person that everyone loved, maybe that stemmed from how this all started. Not because of course that's the attitude I have now. I've never changed. You, from the time you've known me at least.
Yeah.
I've been this true and honest perfectionist who doesn't stop in his tracks for very much unless he has to. So that's where that might have all started.
Right. I've got to ask, when you first started doing test footage and whatnot, like when you first had the idea, how far did you actually get in sort of developing, like, at least the first film?
Yeah, this should have been earlier in the edit because you've already seen it.
We in the original plan, I think I've said this under the Blue Web Network before. There were originally 6 films. That was the original draft.
Right.
Not that the best of the original drafts. The first draft was 8 films. But regardless of that, the first film never really changed. It was a simple story of kind of autism. Autism was always the core of it. It was a simple story of the 4 characters: Thomas, Luke, Layla and Benji, and Bullion. And that was how it started, and it was an original thing. The idea of that was that those 3 in the prequel trilogy of 1, 2 and 3 would build up to the point that in the 4th film he would meet Mia, who basically, if anyone has seen your previous documentary with Abby, is sort of the protagonist / antagonist of Ballad of a Broken Heart, which is now
like the false hero.
Yeah, Ballad of a Broken Heart.
Film studies terms, my God.
4, 5, and 6 were, if you threw them together.
Like it's all 3 thrown into one.
Yeah.
Right.
And 1, 2, and 3 got scrapped. But for what the original script of that first movie was, it was called The Journey Begins. We start shooting that. And there were
Yes, we've already seen it in this exact edit.
out there, which, you know,
Oh, the scenes are actually in.
they're out there. You can find them. And we did really get into it. But at the end of the day, I think I even knew then that the quality wasn't up to what I really believed it to be. The same reason why we stopped it the most recent time.
Because it wasn't up to scratch.
It's not there.
Yeah.
And I have to do it right. As the perfectionist that I am.
Yeah. I've got to ask, who did you
How many times has he said that?
making this series? Who did you first approach, or at least sort of think about? Like who came to mind at first?
That's interesting.
Just answer it, man.
Should I start with when I first had the idea to do it?
Yes, that takes you. If that's fine with you.
I've been in the...
That cut-in was nice, to be fair. That jump in.
Very difficult time. I was there was amongst very other people, there was feelings in the air to different people and stuff like that. And my experience, or at least early experience with what, you know, feelings and relationships and love would be, it was not nice. It wasn't, and it was best described as traumatic for me. And I'm not going to act like a wounded dog, but it was. And I would not be the same man I am now if I'd grown up in the innocence that I inhabited back then. That innocence died when those events happened, and I saw the world in a completely different light from them. And in my efforts to try and be with people, one in particular that started all this off, there was a time where I kind of just gave up, and it was sports day, and it was sports day of year 8,
right.
And I was sat out on that field, and I just looked out over the field, and there was like through the clouds, like the sun was sort of not coming down, but it just casting a sort of this light over the field, and I just sat completely and utterly alone. I'd never felt so alone. And for the first time in my life, I felt truly... I'd always acted mature. As you know, like I'm quite a mature person. But that was the time I genuinely felt like an old man for the first time. and I looked out over, and I was not a boy anymore, and I looked out over that field, even as early as year 8, and I just thought, what has happened to me will never, ever happen again, especially to someone like me.
That's how big of an impact this has had.
Yeah, it will not happen again. And I thought, not in a vengeance kind of way, but in an awareness kind of way.
Like learning more.
Yes.
Like,
how can I tell everyone that the quote-unquote creep I was, acting in ways that I wouldn't have if I was not on the spectrum? How can I counteract the interpretation that I was some sort of creep and make not only everyone see it in a different light, but give new context to anyone who might be going through the same thing, or at least on the other side of it? I want to be able to make that film or series or whatever it is, probably most likely a trilogy now at the time of making this documentary, and make it.
I don't know what it's going to shape up to be, man, at this point.
Who were my age, who are my age at the time of release, and it'll be, you know what, maybe this is what he's going through or she's going through. Maybe they're not just weird or just creeps. And of course, that's a dangerous fine line to walk, because it's not always acceptable. The way I acted back then, it was quite weird for today's standards. But I acted out of a place of presumably blind love. I acted from a place of no logic. And I'm not saying it's right, but there was an explanation.
Yeah, I didn't care that much. I love patting it now. I was a caring person, but I didn't care that much. I wouldn't use that word now.
By not just the individuals involved, but the entire group around it. And I was viewed as a very negative.
Just to say, by the way, if somehow you're watching this and you recently tuned into the Valentine's Day episode of the Big Lane podcast, very, very relevant shit. Like, this is very relevant to everything I talked about during that pod.
Before he was killed.
Oh, shut up. Stop being so dramatic.
So that's to let out your question, because that's where I came from, and I decided to then do the franchise, and it's evolved in many different times. It really came with Jake, because of course he's agreed to provide some information for this documentary, so I'm going to obviously call him by name, and he's a part of the network as it is.
yeah.
Jake was been throughout the entire process of reaching what would be roughly the final draft of the scripts, which obviously we're at now, coming into year 12. He was there throughout the entire process. He was there when Benji had superpowers. He was there.
He told us about
Yeah,
that.
see, yeah. He was there in every stage of that creative process.
He's like the one person who was there since the very beginning.
Yeah, and it changed on multiple occasions. I tried to get him involved in the cast because he was that passionate about helping us. And he gave me advice when the story in itself and the values, especially the characters, went from this being an awareness story to a vengeance story. Because realistically, I'm not going to lie, one of my primary motives for wanting us to kind of do this documentary is to kind of let all that go. Because I will not lie.
This interview's gone on way too fucking long, by the way.
Well, the primary angle that it took in terms of this being an awareness piece, it did come from a place of anger, because of course it would. I was a young boy who'd been hurt very, very much, and I have been hurting since by other people, and still in the post-traumatic stress of that original event. I've been wandering around in shit ever since, and it does come from a place of anger, but he helped me control it. He helped me turn that anger and taught me how to turn my emotions into true art and intellectual art.
Fuck off. Oh my god, look, I've always meant well, man. I've always meant well, but what the fuck? Jesus Christ. I meant well, but intellectual art. Intellectual art, mate. Frying Peter Pan.
That That's what happened. I just think move on. But what those people in those days, the individuals involved that inspired the events, the ballad in itself is based off. Like the diary in that film and everything, it was very true. Like this stuff actually happened. Those individuals, I know that I'm in a peace with that. I made my apologies. I'm at peace with all that.
You're not yet.
What I could do
I wasn't then. I am now.
was take what they'd given me in trauma.
Fuck off.
To possibly millions of people. But a life lesson that could save someone else from the fate that I had. And when Jake taught me how to
I was born in the dark.
into those qualities,
Molded by it.
which I've now adopted to this day, I was the better man because of it.
Jake's the one who like really helped out.
Yeah. And there was different cast members along the way, but I'd be lying if I said they were all too dedicated. Especially even now in our latest iteration. That one went down the shitter pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was the closest it came to it though. I've never come so close to actually making it. And I will. I'm now obviously again taking the precautions to actually make it properly in chapter 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where it came
Oh boy! Chapter 2, was it? Whoops. Right, I'll just turn this down because it will be copyrighted.
I implore the jury to recognise that Mr. Cooper breached the rights of Miss Murphy on several occasions. Her personal space, her sexual space.
Oh my god.
No reasonable doubt that
So this is a nice guy I used to be friends with for a very long time actually in my school days. He helped in this GCSE drama extract that was handed in, so that's his voice there.
spare Miss Murphy from her suffering. Send this
Yeah, I don't know why I'm acting like the Joker there, but that's, yeah. I suppose the acting job is to be like so broken I look insane, but like, yeah. It's supposed to be a courtroom saying this. Let's say this is actually good. Let's see if for like a year 10, year 11 drama performance, if this is actually alright. Let's look. Let's judge it. Thing is, the quality of the production was pretty shit, which you'll see in the projects to come. But you're going on too long on this beat. Oh, fucking stop.
Mr. Cooper, is there anything you have to say? I recognise you have chosen to testify at this time.
Oh, stop! Stop! What the fuck? Why so serious? Where'd the American accent come from? What the fuck?
privilege will be wasted on me now. Well, my name, guys. Spent behind walls, and now you tried to rescue me.
Good line.
Anyone with a brain between their ears would know there's nothing left to save.
Not bad. Not bad line.
I know I'm not the same. I don't care what you think you know. You don't know what that does to a man.
Do you know what? My expressions have been mixed, to say the least. I'm hardly world class, but I do think my line delivery's always been pretty good.
Story.
Maybe voice acting's maybe a calling for me, to be honest, because this is like,
So why don't I tell you one?
I think my line delivery's great, just my face doesn't do a lot of the work at the time. I'm very one note.
He came in here, scared for his life against a world that turned his back on him. The world took one quick look at him, locked him up, threw away the key without a second thought. I am all that's left. If I am such a monster, then I shall stand before my makers. Here I am.
Just not a bad monologue.
The world has lost its way. If 3 years hadn't taught you guys remorse, then I don't know what will.
Oh, there we are. The original scripts.
If you grant me my rightful freedom, there's only one thing I can think of for a guilty man that's still worth breathing for.
Oh, look at my Lego Mario display. How cute.
Only one thing I can do.
What would you intend to do, Mr. Cooper?
Avenge the boy you people killed. I will reclaim what is rightfully mine.
And what's that, son?
My life, Your Honor. My life!
Do you know, this is not actually that bad of a scene in a documentary. It's slowly paced. I'm getting out some childhood artifacts. And this is a voiceover. It's actually not that badly done, to be honest. Fair edit on my part. It's sluggish and slow, and this is a long, long 36 minutes. But
Plead guilty like you're above me or something. Is gone. Dead and buried.
that was my personal profile at the primary school yearbook. I wrote so much shit on that thing, by the way. That was a work of art. I spent like 4 weeks on it. It's a good scene, man. Right, I will turn this down for copyright.
I will fight till the sun sets and the sands of the hourglass stop. I will fight till the oceans calm and the storms settle. And I will fight till the sky becomes bleached with the clouds of those that came before it. Until the last drop of blood drips from my bones and broken heart.
Right, it's cringe. The delivery's not great in this monologue. Like, you can watch it if you want the full volume, go and find the actual video, but like, it's not that. Fuck. Why? Right. Right, okay. Right, here's my issue here. Because I'm just realizing what I'm looking at now. Right. Anything that's specifically like remotely like personal. Oh fuck. Okay, that's pretty explicit. Some of the stuff on there. But like, the thing is, right, anything that's like really sensitive information, I tip X'd out of that. But why would I show that? That is literally, that's the book. Why? This is what I'm saying. At the time of making this, I was not over this situation. Oh, it's not an angry piece. Yes, it was. It is. It is. This is the last time with this franchise and this Benji Cooper little wavy flag in the wind, right? This is the last time this franchise meant anything of anger. Because it was. I act like it wasn't. I was fully wanting to get back at the people who did that to us. Fully. Obviously, I know I'm well beyond that now. That's the thing. Look, it's I said what I said in the podcast, but this is... It's just, yeah.
What kind of people are we if we don't?
That's more like it. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. Some creative input. The edit, as everyone knows, the documentaries. The edit does most of the work. This is I did this. I'm just gonna. Yeah, it's real. I did it. There's yeah, very little work was done on that end. It's fine. Dan had ideas. He did have ideas, but it was just like it was again. Most of the work was me. So I do take a fair bit of credit for this thing. Not like it's worth it. It's not very good, but yeah. But yeah, so turn this down again anyway. Fucking hell. Anyway. Look, it was at the point in time where like putting anyone else's name on shit made it seem like the network was bigger than what it was. So I just went with it. It's fine. No, great. You have that. You have your peanuts. That's fine. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, with that, it's just like, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. It's like, that is a very symbolic ending, me shutting the crate on that, because really, like, I have absolutely no anger towards it, and I'm so happy, because if I do make this project, which I really do still want to, and let's say it's a single film, like an epic, like 2.5 hour plus film. No! No! I forgot about this! I'd have turned it off. No way!
Alright, I'm live recording. I'm recording.
That cut was good. Go on, where's the dance? Where's the shimmy? Come on, where's the dance? I do a dance, where's the dance? Yeah, there it is. The shimmy. It's the fucking Kendrick walk at the Super Bowl. Oh my god. Fair play. Fair play. All is right in the world. All is right. That's in it. That's all that's right. The modern BDLN audience finally gets to see that shit. People think it's Mason Mar. People think it's Frying Peter Pan. No. The worst thing I ever did was that. Or some could argue the greatest. Before King, it was that clip. Insane. And people think I went mad after I left school. No. I've always been mad. Oh, God. Jesus. But yeah, it's a very symbolic ending, really, and that's the end. Like, this really was kind of using all the unused footage, all the, like, little tidbits of information about the early kind of history of that franchise. And a lot of things that are in that will mean a lot more sense when I finally potentially do make that project. It's locked in a box. Like, the old Benji Cooper Prospects was locked in a box from about here onwards, and there's no anger behind that project anymore. But honestly, I'm very, very happy that era happened. So that if really, look, I will say if. I do intend to make it, but it's always an if, because I want to do it right. If I ever really do make this concept an actual tangible project that releases that isn't just a documentary about it, if I actually get to make this one day, it's like, I think a lot of these things, like dominoes, will pay off, and all of it will kind of click into place. But I don't think what can be made in future would have been made without this era. I needed to make the mistakes, and I needed to sleep on it and do some other things. And I have done the past few years, I really have. So I do intend to make it within the foreseeable future. I do intend to do that. But it's like, we'll see. And I also, if I'm going to play the character, I need to do it in the next few years while I'm still relatively young. I need to. If not, it's going to have to get recast. But yeah, it's very much a lockbox in time. And thank you all for joining me today, watching through this. So now we progress onwards to the final project of 2022. Next watch along. Oh, Jesus. We now move along to the final project of 2022 for next week's Watch Along Wednesday. It is Mr. Unchained. I finally return to music next week with this kind of project watch alongs we've been doing. Mr. Unchained, so the 5 songs of the EP. There was no isolated video for this project. It was kind of spread across a couple, but we'll be watching sort of the music video cuts for basically for those 5 songs. So the 5 videos. I don't know. I'm not a massive fan of Mr. Unchained, to be honest, looking back, but we'll see. But tune in next week if you want to see me react to that. Until next time on the channel, thanks for joining me again today, and subscribe if you're new. But yeah, be kind, do your best, and always remember, you are enough.